Hey guys, welcome to another video. My name is Havin Jabke. I'm a writer, I'm a speaker, and I'm an engineer. Today I want to talk about this concept that people have been talking about recently, which is after the matric results are out for 2025. The fact that a boy child is being left behind. And the capacity for me is the fact that I registered an NPO in 2014, which the aim of that was to help the matric. I come from a very good village, but I think the infrastructure and also the way in which the education I received was not so good and was so much conducive for me. So I took the responsibility to say I need to create something that I can be able to help these kids. And I remember at one point I was unemployed. I actually went back home and started offering my free time to be able to teach these kids maths and physics. So I've been having so much involved, even from back in the days, like I was a youth minister. I will, talk to these kids and talk about the importance of education, the importance of reading, the importance of discipline. So I've been very much involved with these kids. And still to this day, when I'm in the village, I found these kids sitting down. I hang around them as if I'm their friends, be involved in the conversation that they're talking about, whether they're talking about soccer, whether they're talking about money, or they're talking about music. I try to have conversation with these kids and in the process try to incorporate my own judgment to say, guys, this is what you need to do, this is how you need to think about these things, right? So there's this concept that people are popularizing now that the boy child is being left behind. And I want to tell you the real truth is that it's not so in so many ways. And in so many instances, people can debate and say, no, maybe it is so because of this, and they can give their own judgment, which is also fine, right? But if we're being honest, like you go to the village, I can use my village as an example. It's not very difficult to realize why the boy child is being left behind, because the boy child doesn't want to go to school, the boy child want to rebel, the boy child want to fight with the educators, the boy child want to bring a knife at school, the boy child want to bring dacha, the boy child doesn't want to wear a uniform, the boy child doesn't want to comb his hair. So there is this spirit of rebellion that these kids have, which in most of the instances we just don't want to talk about it. We have socialized women to submit. Right. So what then happens is that the authority that we say we have given to men, when we have a situation where they are not disciplined, you kind of like have a weapon in the hands of a madman. So this is kind of like what happens. So now these kids become rebellious, they don't attend school, they don't do all of these things. So cumulatively, when you check at a province, when you check at a nation, when you check at a country, you kind of like in a situation where you feel like kids or men or boys are left behind. But we have to be honest, we have to talk about what has really gotten us to where we are and what are the things that we can able to do for us to be able to bring remedy to this type of things. And for me, I'm putting it up for everyone that is of age, everyone that is mature, that when you're sitting down with these kids, the conversation that you talk about, the counsel that you give to them, it's very much important. Because for me, I remember very well, I was not raised in an age of social media. I was not raised in an age of influencers. I was not raised in an age of YouTubers. That's why I've never considered myself to be a YouTuber. I consider myself to be a thinker. I consider myself to be a speaker. I consider myself to be somebody that construct ideas and try to see how they can fit in with those ideas to society. You understand? So obviously right now we are in this space, we are in this situation where these kids are exposed to so much social media, they are exposed to so much influence. And to be honest with you, it's not a fault of an individual, it's not a fault of a certain unit. We like to sometimes put ourselves in the situation where we want to blame a specific person, we want to blame a specific institution, we want to blame a specific group of people. No, it's because of the men that they are living these women and then they become single mothers and whatever. No, it's because of these women. It's like if we really want to construct society, we cannot look at one person, on one group or one institution, and we believe that for us to be able to bring remedy, that is where it needs to come from. Obviously, one person can start the revolution. One person can decide that, guys, since things has been happening like this, I think that this is what we can do as a suggestion. We can do that. But so far, what I've realized is that we have taken a division approach as a way of doing things in life. So we decide that, hey, you know what? This is how I'm going to do things. This is how I'm going to protect myself. This is how I'm going to protect my kids. This is how I'm going to protect my village. It's kind of like there's this idea of individualism that has somehow ushered societies right now. Everyone think about themselves, etc. and whatever. So the point for this video is very simple, which is to say that, guys, we need to stand up as men. We need to start encouraging these boys to go to school. We need to tell them straight in the face to say, maybe you are not a great musician to an extent that right now you can quit school. Maybe you're not a great analyst or mathematician to an extent that you can start believing that you can make a living out of Forex for now. Maybe for now, soccer is good, but it's not good as a way that it can sustain your livelihood. So for now, register a course at the university, try to look for a job and try to improve yourself. If you still feel that there's a deep desire inside of you to pursue soccer, to pursue Forex, to pursue music, you can still do that. So women are taking education very seriously, and we are going to see these numbers growing up all as we go. Now there's a stats that single mothers are buying more houses, even more than couples are buying houses. You understand? So let's give it to them, guys. They're taking responsibility of their future. So let us not come then as a combat strategy. We'll say, oh, a boy child is being left behind. I'm telling you why a boy child is being left behind. Because a boy child is trying to run after women while he's not empowered financially. So that's why he, as a boy child, ends up getting this type of situations. So the problem that we have is that we don't want to get down to the truth. How did we get to this situation? What can we be able to do to move forward? So for me, as a starting point of this conversation, what I want to tell you is that let us not act as a boy child is a victim. A boy child is ill-disciplined. A boy child is not focused. Let's start from where the problem is and start working out with the solution. I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.